In your head, your survival group is the perfect team. In reality, it's a ticking time bomb. We all love to imagine our prepper groups as harmonious communities, a place where everyone brings unique skills to the table, where we look out for each other, offering mutual protection in times of crisis. But the harsh reality paints a different picture. Ego, drama, and selfishness often creep in, turning what was supposed to be a sanctuary into a battleground. The bonds of friendship and mutual respect can quickly dissolve into betrayal. And that's not even the worst part. When the chips are down, when the situation is dire, that's when people's true colors shine through. It's easy to play nice when there's plenty, but how about when resources are scarce? The truth is, crisis doesn't build character, it reveals it. When crisis strikes, it brings out the worst in people, even the ones you trusted. Trust is a luxury when resources run low. It's a hard truth to swallow, but when survival is on the line, the pleasant veneer of camaraderie can quickly peel away. It's easy to believe in unity and shared sacrifice when bellies are full and danger is a distant thought. But when hunger gnaws and fear prowls at the edges of your mind, loyalty can become as scarce as the dwindling supplies. You see, desperation has a way of revealing character. It strips away pretense and exposes the raw survival instinct within us all. And that instinct can be a treacherous beast. When resources run thin, the people you thought were steadfast allies may transform into threats. The friend who shared your campfire might become the stranger who raids your food stash. This is not to say that all hope for unity and cooperation is lost. Far from it. But it underscores the importance of a vital, often overlooked element in building a survival group: vetting. Without a thorough and real vetting process, you're constructing your group on shaky foundations. A group is only as strong as its weakest member, and if that member is prone to betrayal when the going gets tough, then your fortress is built on sand. In the harsh light of survival, trust can seem an illusion, a mirage that vanishes when you reach for it. But it doesn't have to be. Without a real vetting process, your survival group stands on quicksand. But with due diligence and foresight, you can build a group that stands firm when the storm hits. Without clear leadership, a survival group is a ship without a captain. On the surface, it may seem like a democracy where everyone has a say. But when the chips are down and quick, decisive action is needed, a leaderless collective can quickly devolve into chaos. You see, in every group there's always that one person who thinks they should be in charge. And it's not always the person with the most experience or the best qualifications, but often the person with the loudest voice or the most assertive personality. This can lead to power struggles and disagreements, which can tear a group apart faster than an outside threat. Imagine this. There's a sudden noise in the dead of night. Some members want to investigate, others want to hide. Without clear leadership, there's no one to make a final call. The group splits, leaving everyone vulnerable. Or a food ration decision has to be made. Some members think it should be divided equally. Others argue that those who work harder should get more. Without a clear decision-making process, these disagreements can escalate into full-blown conflicts. Jealousy, second-guessing, resentment. These are all common outcomes of a leadership vacuum. When no one is clearly in charge, everyone thinks they could do a better job, and that breeds discontent. But it's not just about having a leader. It's about having the right leader. Someone who can make tough decisions under pressure, who can keep the group's morale high and, most importantly, who can earn and maintain the group's trust. Remember, in a survival situation, your group is only as strong as its weakest link. And a leaderless group, riddled with power struggles and disagreements, is a weak group. These internal conflicts can be more dangerous than any external threat because they can destroy your group from the inside out. Without clear leadership and a decision-making process, your group is a ticking time bomb. It's only a matter of time before the pressure of survival causes it to explode. So, before that happens, establish clear leadership. Define a decision-making process. Make sure everyone knows their role and their place, because in a survival situation, there's no room for power plays or ego trips. There's only room for survival. Survival isn't spontaneous. It's all about planning and rules. Without these two vital components, even the most loyal and well-intentioned prepper group can disintegrate into chaos when the going gets tough. Let's dive deeper into this concept and see how poor planning and unclear rules can be the downfall of a survival group. In the world of survival, uncertainty is your worst enemy. It creates confusion, breeds fear, and fosters discord. When there are no clear rules in place, every decision, every action becomes a potential source of conflict. Who gets to make the critical calls? Who takes the night shift for guard duty? Who gets the first portion of food? Without predefined rules, these questions can ignite fierce arguments, leading to fractures within the group. Moreover, vague plans are just as dangerous. Imagine this: a crisis hits, and your group is left scrambling, unsure of the next step. Everyone has their own idea of what should be done, leading to a disorganized scramble rather than a coordinated response. The result? Panic, disarray, and a significantly lower chance of survival. Furthermore, in the absence of clear rules and plans, it's easy for members to shirk their responsibilities, leading to unequal workloads. This can breed resentment and dissatisfaction, further destabilizing the group. Just as a chain is only as strong as its weakest link, a survival group is only as effective as its least committed member. And let's not forget that rules and plans are not just about maintaining order. They're about ensuring fairness, promoting cooperation, and fostering trust among group members. They provide a sense of direction, a roadmap that guides the group through the treacherous terrain of a crisis. So, how can a survival group avoid this pitfall? The answer lies in meticulous planning and the establishment of clear, enforceable rules. These need to be discussed, agreed upon, and understood by all members before a crisis hits. Remember, in survival, preparation is everything. In conclusion, vague plans and undefined rules are a surefire path to conflict and collapse. A survival group without them is like a ship without a compass, destined to drift aimlessly and eventually sink when the storm hits. In a survival group, everyone must pull their weight. It's a simple principle, but it's often overlooked. Envision a scenario where some members are tirelessly working, building, cooking, while others are seemingly always resting. Over time, this imbalance in contribution can lead to a simmering resentment. And let's not forget the person who stockpiled food for months, only to see others show up empty-handed when crisis hits. It's a recipe for disaster. These situations breed bitterness and frustration quietly, like a hidden time bomb ticking away. Members start to feel undervalued, used, and taken for granted. The group's unity begins to crack, trust erodes, and the spirit of cooperation dwindles. And then when the pressure mounts, when resources dwindle and survival gets tougher, that's when it happens. The resentment reaches a boiling point, and like a pressure cooker left on the stove too long. Survival is stressful, and stress can bring out the worst in people. It's all well and good to get along when you're prepping during the calm before the storm. But when fear, hunger, and danger enter the equation, that's when the real test begins. Consider this: minor annoyances that were once easily overlooked can suddenly become major threats. Personality clashes that were once mild disagreements can escalate into full-blown conflicts. The person who was once simply a little too chatty on a quiet afternoon can become a source of unbearable noise in a high-pressure situation. And it's not just about managing the stress of survival. It's also about managing the emotional toll it takes. We're talking about sleepless nights spent on watch, the constant awareness of the danger that lurks just beyond your safe zone, the gnawing hunger that never quite leaves. These factors can amplify emotional reactions, turning what should be a united group into a ticking time bomb of emotional unrest. Now you might think, we're all adults here, we can handle a little stress. But remember, we're not talking about a tough day at the office. We're talking about life or death situations where one wrong move, one heated argument, one moment of emotional outburst can have dire consequences. If your group can't manage emotional control, it will self-destruct from the inside. Because in the face of survival, it's not just the physical threats you need to worry about, it's the emotional ones too. When survival is at stake, even friends can turn into thieves. This is the harsh reality that many prepper groups fail to consider. As resources dwindle and the struggle to survive intensifies, the thin veneer of camaraderie and friendship can easily shatter, revealing the raw, self-serving instincts that lie beneath. Desperation has a way of stripping away our social norms and taboos. When your stomach is growling, your children are crying from hunger, and you don't know where your next meal is coming from, the thought of stealing from your own team becomes less unconscionable and more of a desperate means to survive. Theft in these circumstances is rarely a spontaneous act. It's often preceded by resource hoarding, a subtle yet insidious form of greed that can eat away at the very fabric of a survival group. It starts with one person secretly stashing away extra food or supplies, thinking they're just being prudent. But this act of self-interest can quickly snowball into a destructive pattern of deceit and betrayal. When hoarding escalates to outright theft, it's a clear sign that the group's trust and cohesion have broken down. And once trust is lost, it's almost impossible to regain. Accusations fly, alliances shift, and the group can quickly descend into chaos. This is when survival groups are most vulnerable to external threats as their internal conflicts divert their focus from the larger dangers at hand. Survival isn't a popularity contest, it's a skills contest. When the chips are down and survival is the name of the game, friendship alone won't cut it. Many groups, prepper or otherwise, are built around the bonds of friendship rather than a strategic selection of skills. While camaraderie and trust are crucial, they shouldn't be the sole criteria for group formation. Imagine a group of best friends, united by mutual affection but lacking in essential survival skills. When the going gets tough, friendship won't help you start a fire, treat an injury, or find food. It's a harsh reality to face, but survival groups built solely around friendship are likely to fail when the pressure mounts. The key to a strong and successful group lies in the balance of interpersonal relationships and a diverse range of skills. As the old saying goes, don't put all your eggs in one basket. In the world of survival, this means diversifying your group's skill set. You need a group of skilled individuals, not just drinking buddies. Size matters when it comes to survival groups. The allure of a larger group is understandable. More hands to distribute tasks, a broader skill set, and a sense of collective security. But here's the catch. Larger groups devour resources at a much quicker pace. Food and water supplies dwindle rapidly, and maintaining operational security becomes a daunting task with too many moving parts. On the flip side, a small group may be stealthier and more resource efficient, but it lacks the manpower for essential tasks like night watch or resource gathering. Additionally, a small group may not have all the necessary skills for long-term survival. The ideal group size is a delicate balance, large enough to distribute work and skills effectively, yet small enough to manage resources and maintain security. It's a tricky equilibrium to maintain, and unfortunately, many get it wrong. Finding the right size and skill balance is critical, and most get it wrong. Building a survival group is more than just gathering people. It's about planning, testing, and training. The first step is vetting potential members. Don't wait until collapse to find out who's reliable. Test loyalty under pressure now. This can be as simple as seeing how people react in stressful situations. Next, train together under real conditions. This builds trust and reveals strengths and weaknesses. Also, clearly define leadership roles, security plans, and survival expectations ahead of time. This reduces the chances of power struggles and misunderstandings later on. Lastly, always have a backup plan. Even the best prepared groups can fall apart under the strain of a real survival situation. A backup plan ensures you're not left high and dry if that happens. Remember, the goal is not just to survive, but to thrive. And most importantly, always have a backup plan if your group falls apart.